If you have watched any of my last videos, then you probably know that I was stuck in really unhealthy relationships for the majority of my life. Like, the last unhealthy relationship was the worst one. It was super abusive, super toxic, super dramatic. It was just constant stress in my body. And I went from that to attracting a really healthy relationship with a man that deeply loves me, cares for me, takes care of me, supports me, who's generous, who's kind, who's literally ticking all the boxes that I want in a man. And in the last 3 years, I've been supporting women on their journey to attract healthy love, to nurture the relationships with themselves, and to find the beautiful magic that every woman holds on this planet, including you. And I will share the 5 steps with you right now. So step number 1 to attract a healthy man is to rid yourself, to free yourself from men that are unhealthy for you in your life right now. Be that friendships, be that romantic relationships, be that any kind of relationship. You must choose yourself first. When I was in this toxic relationship, and trust me, I understand the drama that you're like unable to leave, but at some point we can choose differently. We can choose ourselves. That's what I did after 2 years of really a lot of abuse, of a lot of struggle to leave the relationship. It was a breaking point where I was able to make the decision to leave, and I chose myself, and I quit the relationship, quit my job, went to Australia, quit everything, and started my healing journey. And if that's the first step, like, decide that you're worthy, decide that you want to make a change in your life, because you cannot live like this anymore. Because if we stay in relationships with unhealthy men, there's no space for us to attract healthy men into our life. There's no space for us to reflect on the abuse and the toxic relationship and the men that we attract into our lives, and to actually start healing. So if this is something that resonates with you, comment free guide down below and I send you a free father wound guide, because the father wound is what keeps us stuck in these relationships. This wound determines our relationship with the masculine. So in general with men, not just in romantic relationships, but also in friendships. So if we carry these wounds within us, it is so crucial to make a first step to start healing. And this free guide will give you a roadmap on how to do this. There's a guided practice on there, so comment free guide down below if you're interested in this, and I will send you the link right away. I know the light is changing a lot right now. I have the sun in my face, but bear with me. Don't look at the lighting. It's about the information. Step number 2 is taking your power back, and this is a really big one. And what I just said, when I left the relationship finally for good, because we broke up many times, and every time I went back to this guy because my wounds kept drawing me back into the relationship. However, at some point I was able to choose myself, and that was the moment when I took my power back. Because in these relationships we give away so much of our power, and we have so much power, and we just give it away. We give it away and we're left empty. There's also victim mentality that plays into it, and we're like, why is this happening to me? Why can I leave this? Why is this person treating me this way? And we fail to realize that actually we're treating ourselves that way. By accepting a relationship that is abusive, we're basically abusing ourselves by staying in the situation. So one of the best things to do is take your power back. And something that's actually really helpful is a cord cutting ritual, where you are releasing the strings, the energetic attachments that we have to that person, and we're literally cutting them. You can do this in a meditation. You see the person in front of you and you're cutting the ties, thanking them for all that they've taught you, for all that they will teach you, and thanking yourself for choosing yourself in that moment. And then cut the ties, and you will most likely feel quite a relief. And that's one of the first steps to take your power back. Step number 3 is start your healing journey. For me, literally everything changed when I started healing, when I started to realize that my world is a reflection of my inner world. And if I don't take care of my inner world, I will attract the same shit over and over and over again. So start reflecting on the why. What wounds are keeping you in this relationship? Why are these wounds there? What happened to you in childhood? What happened in the relationship with your father, with your mother? in general in your household, maybe teachers, siblings. There's so much that can happen to us in childhood. And all of these traumas is what keeps us stuck in these survival energies where we just choose the things that are not good for us because it's a reflection of our inner world that is in little pieces that we must bring back together so we can create wholeness again within ourselves. And again, comment free guide down below because that is literally a really good start. There are journal prompts in there that can help you to investigate on the relationship with your father, guided practice, comment free guide down below. Step number 4, be that which you want to attract. So if you want a relationship, if you want a man who respects you, who is kind to you, who loves you, who is devoted to you, who is committed to you, who is supportive, are you serving that to yourself? Are you respecting yourself? Are you making choices that are reflective of the kindness towards yourself? Are you being kind to yourself in your mind, in your thoughts? Are you taking care of yourself? Are you supporting yourself? Are you supporting your own goals, your own health, the relationship to yourself? If all of that is not met, if you're not meeting that within yourself, then it's going to be really hard to attract someone else who's doing that. So I had to take quite a pause from relationships to take care of myself, to heal my wounds, and to start being kinder to myself because I was not very kind to myself. Like, this abusive relationship was very much reflective of the relationship I had to myself. And I was seeking all these things externally from myself. And I failed to realize that I have to give that to myself. That doesn't mean that we have to be fully healed and like all these things and mastered self-love in order to attract healthy love. No, but there must be a certain willingness, a certain openness, and a certain moving in that direction that we can then attract that as a reflection of our internal world into our lives. So what are the daily choices that you make? Are these choices reflective of the kindness, of the respect you have towards yourself? Are you taking dedicated time each day to be with yourself? Are you curious about your inner world? Are you open to heal these wounds? Are you aware of these wounds? Are you aware of the relationship you have to yourself? Are you doing any kind of self-love practices? Are you moving your body? Are you eating healthy? And again, we don't have to master all these things in order to attract healthy love, but we have to at least move into the direction so we can start creating a new kind of energy imprint that is being reflected into the world so we can attract that kind of energy back to us. Until this day, I'm 100% sure that I attracted this man into my life because I was doing these things. Was I perfect at them? Hell no. I was still not perfectly loving myself and all these things, and that's like all a continuous journey, right? But I made an effort. I made an effort to move my body more. I made an effort to create a beautiful relationship with myself, to have certain practices in place every day. Not even every day, like sometimes I would also not do them, right? But it's more like the overall picture. Like, we will still slip sometimes, and that's okay. We don't have to be perfect at all. But again, a certain coming back to that. We slip, we come back to it. And then we can just move into that direction and attract a man like this. Okay, step number 5 is the most curious one, but bear with me. It's very contradictive, but don't try to attract a man. Let me explain. So, when I was single and I was like on my kind of healing journey, my mindset was not, I want a relationship and that's what I do this for. My mindset was, shit, I was really struggling and I need to take care of this. And I actually don't want a relationship right now because that would take away from the healing journey I'm on right now. So I was literally not searching for a relationship at all. I was going to gatherings and all these kind of things. I was in Central America most of the time when I did my whole kind of healing journey, and I was there for a long time. So there was a lot of spiritual kind of events and ecstatic dance and ceremonies and all this kind of stuff. And of course you meet a lot of people, and you know when you're single and you go into a space and you're kind of like checking out like, oh, who could be today, you know? Like, I know many people do this. And I was just not in that mindset. I went to a gathering and I was completely like, almost I would say blind to men, even if there were like super gorgeous men around. Like, I was just not interested in anything. I was so in my own energy, which then, funny enough, makes you very magnetic. That's the funny part about this, because if you're not seeking this external validation through relationships or through men or anything, it does make you very magnetic because you're in your own energy. And when a woman is in her own energy and on her, like, focused on herself, focused on the love towards herself, then that makes her extremely magnetic. And feminine energy naturally is very magnetic. So if we connect to that energy, we become much more magnetic. And so I was actually attracting men into my experience, and I was like, I'm sorry, I don't want to commit to anything right now. I want to commit to myself. That's my main goal. And then funny enough, after a while, my partner entered the picture, and I was like, all right, you know, I'm just gonna roll with it. It feels very right. It feels very beautiful. And so we started getting to know each other. And the deeper I got into it, the deeper I was like, all right, this is very good. This is very good. And then we started dating eventually. And now we've been together for 3 years. And that's what I mean. If you need a relationship, you put up resistance. You put up resistance towards that which you want so desperately. Because if you send out the energy of, I want this so much, then I will feel happy, then that is repelling that kind of energy, because that's not how it works. It's much harder to manifest and attract if it comes from a place of, I need this to feel happy. But if we come from a place, I am happy, wow, the sun is shining in my face. If we come from a place, I am happy just the way I am with myself, I'm content, and I don't need something from a place of emptiness because I got myself, I have this within myself. Then we become magnetic and we attract men into our lives. It's funny how it works, but that's just how it is. So take yourself out on dates. I love to take myself out on dates. I go to the cinema by myself. I go eating out by myself. I go for coffees by myself. I go hiking by myself. I do so many things by myself because it just nurtures the relationship that I have to myself. And more often than not, especially when I'm alone in nature, there's epiphanies coming and realizations about my life and myself. And that is what happens when we make space for ourselves. Like, information can come through, you know, and we can actually really cultivate a beautiful relationship to ourselves. And then relationships are not a necessity in a sense. Of course, we all want a loving relationship, yeah, but it's not this need for it because by myself I'm not happy and I will only be happy if I'm in a relationship. If we can let go of that and come back to our own energy, come back to our own power and make it our mission to cultivate that power, to connect to our femininity, to our womb, to our voice and all these things and become the powerful beings that we are, then you will naturally attract a beautiful man into your life. Okay, so I gave up because the sun was just blinding my face. Anyway, the next question is, why are you attracting toxic relationships in the first place? So if you're interested in that, watch this video where I break down how I healed from this toxic relationship, and you can watch the video right here.